Trigger warning. We'll be talking about serious topics such as suicide, rape, and depression. Please, viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. My name's James, aka Skillet Freak. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to say. Oh, it just hit my tooth. It's difficult. I don't know what to talk about exactly, but I need to talk about stuff because I need to be open. This is going to be my way of doing that. So further ado, here it goes. I want to talk today about mental health and my journey that I am embarking on. Been on it for a few months now, and it's been a struggle. But I'm up for the challenge and I'm going to do this. Suffered with depression for multiple years now. Never really seeked out any help for it. I've always just kind of buried it and do the typical stigma that people say to do. Just be a man. Don't let it get to you. I've tried that many times, several years. And it's got me this far. But it's getting to a point now that I can't do it anymore. I can't just bury it. I'm not built that way. I'd say since middle school is whenever I really started dealing with the stuff. I've always was the one to be bullied constantly. Because I was always a bigger kid. I mean, I've always been bigger. Always been fat. Never really tried to change it. I've tried a few multiple times. Stick to it for about a month and a half. Let it go. Because I fall back to my old ways too easily. And that was more around in high school when I started trying to change that. But now it's just more of a constant battle of dealing with that. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Most people say I look about 250 to 300. Let me show you just how big I am, and I want you guys to guess what you think. Probably take the shirt off too. I've got a gut. Be 100% sure, to be honest. I'm over 400 pounds. We're at the 400-pound mark a couple years ago. Probably about 5 or so. Kind of lost track of how much I actually weighed. Didn't really care. And 2020 hit, and it kind of skyrocketed when, just depression spiked even worse. And it just went south fast. I said I've always been big, and this is so far the biggest I've been. But I've been working on it for a couple months now, wanting to get better. I'll be honest, this video's gonna be all over the place. I'm gonna try to stay as linear as I can with the story, but I'll do my best. Let's kind of try to take back here and go back to middle school. Middle school was always the shy, fat, quiet kid. The one that most people overlooked just because why bother with it, Just kind of did my own thing. Had some friends. We were all kind of more the outcast kind of style. We didn't fit in with the normal cliques. We weren't jocks. We weren't, the gothic type or whatever. We weren't, we were just, as I like to call us, the misfits. I mean, we didn't really fit in anywhere. We were just kind of the oddballs of the group, of the whole school, really, and that was perfectly fine by me. I mean, I still got some of the greatest friends that I've gotten from school. Middle school was kind of a tough time because I started middle school and 7th grade. 7th grade was tough because I was trying to change my look a little bit. I did it the wrong way. Let me tell you. I wore Hawaiian shirts a lot because they were comfortable. I thought they looked good on me. And it was after that I kind of started to say, yeah, maybe this isn't the answer. 8th grade rolls around. Change my style again because, you know, I'm trying to be that kid to fit in. You know, when I should just be myself. And I didn't learn that until just, well, probably after high school, really, more than anything. I always tried to fit in, and I always struggle with it. I've always been the odd one. Always have been. Middle school, I got picked on a lot. I was always also very sensitive. I let stuff get to me. Then comes to high school. I found some really good friends in high school. We all hung out. Every weekend we tried to. We always go to the bowling alley because I grew up in a small town. Well, it's not small, but smaller. So all we really had was bowling alley or skating rink, which skating rink wasn't good, to say the least. Bowling alley was a place to be. But high school, once again, always picked on. There was one year, though, I finally stood up for myself. I think it was freshman or sophomore year. Didn't really get picked on much of that after that, but I still got my fair share of, you know, kids making remarks and people looking at me differently because I was always a big kid. You know, I was heavier set. I was never athletic. Never tried to be. I tried to be one time, actually. Back in middle school, I tried to join the football team. I was in there for a few months, about a month. Never got to play my first game. Backed out of it because it was, honestly, at the time, it was too hard for me. I never pushed myself, so that's on me. High school wasn't too bad. I mean, it sucked. I had my emotional times because, you know, I was trying to have that high school relationship. Stupid. Don't ever think the stigma of having to have you find your high school sweetheart is the way to go. Because let me tell you, it's not. I wish I would have focused more on high school, personally. Because I wish I would have been more attentive to my grades and everything like that. But, you know, it is what it is. And I'm at where I'm at today, and I honestly wouldn't change anything I've done in my past. Because I've got a decent life. May not be the best, but I got a decent life. I mean, I've had my fair share of struggles. But that's to be said with, you know, who doesn't, though? High school wasn't too bad. Like I said, I still hated every day of it. Because it was school. Who doesn't hate school? And I had the mentality of just scooting by, and I did. And I barely graduated by the skin of my teeth. My problems really didn't fully arise until after high school. Because like I said, in high school, I was more distressed over being my fat self and trying to find a girlfriend and trying to find the one. You know how that goes. If you're watching this, you kind of do. Which, dating nowadays sucks. Let me tell you. It's like playing life on hard mode when you're ugly. High school come and went. I graduated barely by the skin of my teeth. I had some decent friends in there, and you know, we still tried to see each other after high school. And then after high school, it went by slow. I always dealt with the depression. I was always kind of depressed. I mean, there's been several times that I've had thoughts of suicide. I always had the thoughts of depression, or not thoughts, but I've had thoughts of suicide, just saying fuck it and end it all, because I honestly never felt like I'd make it as an adult. There's still days to this day, and I'm 29 years old, and I still don't feel like I'm gonna make it as an adult. But that's just the struggles of life, I assume. I'll find out later, I guess. No, high school ended, you know, and I just need to start thinking about my future, and that terrified me. Because I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was younger. I still don't. I mean, I'm kind of getting into directions now. I mean, I'm looking to getting into that. I want to get more into the IT stuff, but that takes knowledge and schooling that I don't necessarily like to do. I'm more of a hands-on learner. But no, depression's not a fun thing to deal with. Started off after high school. My best friend Michael and I back in high school, senior year, we almost stopped being friends over some stupid drama. Let me tell you this. Those are younger watching this now. The drama in high school you guys encounter and deal with, it's nothing. It's petty. Don't even need to worry about it. And I'm telling this from experience, because in the end of it all, it's just not worth it. It's not worth dealing with the cause and effect of everything. Because he said, she said crap, and it's bogus. So if honestly, if you're young enough, you're younger watching this video, don't worry about it. Drama is dumb. Ignore it at all costs. So I'm gonna, if you guys take anything away from this video, let it be that, and that there is help out there for people. No matter what you're going through, there's help. Don't ever feel like there's not. But my best friend Michael and I, we almost stopped being friends over some stupid girls. I'll just leave it at that for now. And it was dumb. Like I said, dumb, petty, just outright stupid. Let's be real here. So that happened. Well, then that actually brought us closer together than we've ever been. I mean, have been best friends since first grade. First grade elementary school is when we met, and we've been tighter than two peas in a pod. And if you're still on my channel, if you're still subscribed right now, you'll know the video that I posted, probably it's been 5 years ago now. The concert that I went to go see Skillet. You see him at the very end of that video. He just pops in my door at my exit. But anyway, you know, he was my best friend for many years, and we almost stopped being friends over some stupid chicks, and brought us a lot closer together. And then after high school ended, some of you are my friends in the military, like I know many of yours will too, people that are watching this, just because it's, you know, that's what people do. I almost went to the military. I tried, but I was too heavy, and at the time I didn't want to lose the weight, so I didn't do it. That's what stopped me from going to the military. So because I was looking for a free ride, basically. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't doing it for the right reasons, and that's a huge decision I almost made that could have really affected my whole life. Not necessarily saying in a bad way, but that's what I was just trying to do for the wrong reasons. So trying to get a free ride on life, and that's not right. You need to do it for the reasons, for good reasons, I feel, not just, you know, wanting to get a free ride. But had some friends go in the military. They're back now. They've already served their 4-6 years, however long they went in, and I'm glad they're back, you know. And then I did not lost any friends in the military, which is a huge blessing in disguise. I'll be honest, I'm very lucky that some of my friends didn't pass away in the military. But no, we did have one friend pass away in high school. He was a good friend of ours. He was in a car accident, unfortunately. Hit a, I think it was an SUV head on in 2010, right at the beginning of our second semester of our senior year. But no, after high school, I got out, went to college for a little bit, failed that. And I just went to get a job, because I knew I wasn't gonna do anything with any more schooling. So I went and got a job. Got a job working at a factory, you know, and it was a decent job. I lost it a few months later because I'm a terrible morning person. That's when I really figured that out. I'm a terrible morning person. Yeah, that was a little heartbreaking, but at the same time, it is what it is. It was a temp agency job, so those don't usually last very long. Tried schooling a few more times, and never worked out. I was just kept struggling with, you know, my depression, still trying to find the person to be in my life. I've dated a few girls, had a few heartbreaks, you know, typical young person crap. Had a few crazies, you know, whether it be it is what it is. I've lived and I've learned a lot since then. I've learned a lot since I've been out of high school for 20 years now. Not 20 years. Wow. I've learned a lot since I've been out of high school for 10 years. And it's been a good ride, but at the same time I've learned a lot and had a lot of heartbreak. A lot of heartbreak. Fast forward, I'd say probably easily 6 years. Yeah, not that far. A couple years after high school, I started a job, and I met my other best friend now, Mike, actually, aka Sunshine. Me and him are still best friends to this day, and he is one of the greatest people I've met besides my other friend Michael and Tim, my roommate. They've really, all three of them have saved me multiple times, and they don't really know how much they have, but they have. And if you guys are watching this, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You have no clue of how much that makes me feel good, that you guys are the reasons why I'm still here, and I will forever be grateful for you guys. Because you guys show me what it's like to be truly have true friends. Unfortunately, one of those people that I mentioned is no longer with us, and that would be Michael, my best friend since first grade. I'm getting into that one here in just a second, but fast forward, I said probably about 6 years after high school. I had this really great girl that I was with for a while, and I still to this day believe, but she's the one for me. But that it is what it is. We've tried twice and broke up both times. From my perspective, kind of, not the best reasons, but it is what it is. And it is what it is, unfortunately, but I gotta live and learn, and I'm trying to move on from that. But I'm still working on myself, and that's the best part about this video, is I am working on myself. I'll get more into that in just a minute. Let's fast forward a little bit more. The end of 2016, I moved out of my parents' house at the age of 25, and I wasn't necessarily by 100% choice, but a little bit forced, because my buddy Ben, that's in the military, he was in the Navy. He was like, "You're moving out," so we moved out. We went. Me, him, and Tim got a place together, and a little house, and the next town over. Great little place. I liked it, but at the same time, it was built back in the early 1900s, and it needed work. It was roof over heads, so I enjoyed it. It was nice, kind of have my own space and my own place to an extent. Then him and his girlfriend, now wife, got pregnant with their first child, so we knew that when the year lease was up, that we had to move out. So that summer of 2017, me and my best friend Michael and my roommate and my other good friend Tim were trying to find a place together. We were all trying to find a house to move into, and we all pay the equal amounts and all that jazz, all the good things we all most friends talk about with moving out. But we talked about all the good things about moving out, so me and Tim were on the hunt trying to find a place around here, because that's where we all wanted to live around, was around here was the town that we grew up in. Well, I grew up in mostly, and we found a few good places, and we were trying to work out the details of getting everything lined out, and around towards the end of summer, and then end of July, the 1st of August hits, and August 1st, 2017 will be forever one of the worst days of my life. And I'll remember that day for the rest of my life. And once again, before getting into this, it's gonna be a trigger warning. I'm gonna be talking about suicide. And with a heavy heart, it was my best friend, aka my brother from another mother, as we always joked about. We were both 25, me and him we were a month apart on our birthdays. We always celebrated birthdays in January. We were best friends from day one. really. Spent a lot of summers together, a lot of time together. But August 1st, I'll never forget that day. So, we rewind a little bit. The Ben's girlfriend that we were living with as well was his sister. So I was already at home. I got home from work, working a factory job. Didn't mind the job. It was a hot day and it was a hot factory. So I was tired. I was stressed a little bit because I didn't really care too much for the job, and I was just ready to have a day to myself. Because once again, I was dealing with my own depression, and it was about a week or two before that happened, before August 1st, that I almost did the same thing. Because my depression was getting so bad, and I refused to get help. And I don't know why I've always refused to get help. It's just one of those, I guess, the whole, stigma of man up. And that's not right. If you're watching this, you're younger, you've got that mindset stigma, or even if you're older and you're watching this and you got that stigma, you don't have to do that. Take it from me. Like, I've struggled with it all. I've been molested. I've been raped by my ex-girlfriend. I'll be 100% truthful honest with that right now. Like, it was a terrible experience. And it wasn't like, at the time when it happened, I didn't know it, what to call it. But it took me a couple of years to really think about more and more about it and really put the pieces together in my own head that that's what that was. And it was. And I'm not going to get into the story of that one. But anyway, so I mean, I've dealt with the depression, and it was a few weeks before my best friend took his own life that I was ready to take mine. It was one night I was in my room by myself, watching YouTube, in my feels. I hated my job at the time, hated my life, and I was just ready to give up. I was drinking, and I was sitting there drinking by myself in my own self-pity, and I put the gun to my head. I was ready to do it. And some little voice in my head just reached out and said, "No, you're not doing that." So I put the gun down, put it away, cried, and laid down in bed and cried myself to sleep. And ever since that night, I've never drank again. Haven't touched a lick of alcohol since 2017. I mean, that's not 100% true. I've had a few drinks with some friends once in a while, but I don't drink hourly ever anymore. Like, I don't even like the feeling of being drunk. It's just, I'm not in control, and that doesn't sit right with me. And because of that reason is the reason why I don't drink anymore. But anyway, back to August 1st. I was sitting at home, just in my feels, down in my depression. And his sister walks in. She just got home from work as well. She's like, "Hey, can you get a hold of Michael? He's starting to commit suicide again." Mind you, he's started this before. He's had one other attempt in the past. He actually tried to drink bleach, which wound him up in the psych ward for a while. So me being me, I called him a couple times, never did answer the phone. And once again, the whole wolf, cry wolf thing, I've figured he'll call me back in a little while. And it was about 10-15 minutes later, I get a photo or message on Facebook, message request actually, from one of his friends. And I accepted it because I was already looking at my phone, so I'm like, why not? Let's take what they sent me. And open the photo, and it's a picture of a screenshot from Discord. And that picture still haunts me this day because it was just a screenshot of a picture that Michael sent to the Discord of another one Discord he was in. This is the time that I really wasn't into Discord much. Like, I was on it, but I wasn't that much into it at the time. But the picture was him holding the gun in his car, with just the caption, "I won't be around much longer." So I sit there and looked at the photo real closely. I was looking at that firearm, and I noticed that's mine. That was my handgun that he stole from me. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments probably for this, because I didn't have it in a lockbox. Mind you, I just got that Christmas. I didn't have time or money really at the time to buy a lockbox. It was sitting in my top sock drawer. I'll be honest, it was not the best place. Since then, I've got myself a lockbox now. I'm secure with everything now. Like, I've learned from this mistake, and I'm not saying it's 100% my fault. You know, it is what it is. But anyway, I recognized it was my pistol. It was at that moment I knew this is a lot more serious than what it ever has been in the past. And that's not really right to say either, because every suicide threat should always be taken seriously. Don't ever think that it's not. I need to get out of that mindset as well. But I rushed up to the stairs, called up for a sister. She was upstairs, and she was about 6 or 7 months pregnant. I yelled up for her, and I was a mess. I was a ball of emotions, tears, and I yelled at him, and she's like, "What?" And I told him that he's got my pistol. She come downstairs, flying downstairs. She's like, "Get dressed, we're going." So in the meantime, I'm getting dressed, getting ready, because like I said, I was in my comfy clothes. I was in my PJs. I was already home. I was ready to relax. And couldn't. But the whole time when we're getting ready, I'm getting ready. I mean, I'm straight just bawling, because I felt so responsible at that point in time, and I still do, even though I know it wasn't my fault 100%. But anyway, we get ready. She's calling the police up where he lives, because he lived about an hour away from us. And we get up there. We get to where he was living at the time, which was his grandmother's house. It's about an hour drive one way. We got there in half an hour. We were flying. Let's just say his sister was driving. She's fast. But we get up there. The cops have the place surrounded, holding assault rifles, because all they know is that he has my pistol. They don't know what's going on. No, they don't know what he's capable of. Get up there. They searched. They kind of looked through all the windows. They never got into the house. But there wasn't a reason to, because he wasn't there. Nobody was home. So they never did enter the house. We get there. By the time we get there, they're pinging his phone. They pinged his phone and found out he was in a state park in a few towns over, called Castlewood. So they sent St. Louis PD out there, or St. Louis County, sorry, because that's St. Louis County's jurisdiction. So St. Louis County goes out there. We are able to go inside of the house at this point. I'm trying to find as much information as I can possible. I'm downstairs trying to get on his computer, trying to get a hold of whatever information I can, because I'm at this point where I'm terrified. I'm worried to death that he's gonna do it. So we're there, and we're there for hours. St. Louis PD goes out to Castlewood State Park and tries to find him. Well, we didn't get word until 11 o'clock that night. Mind you, this was around 5 o'clock when I got the picture. It's about 5:45. We got there around 6:30ish roughly, and so we didn't find out till about 11:30 that night that he had ended his life. I'm not going to go into full details of the story, but that's when we got word that he was gone. That was the longest 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours, whatever, of my life. And that whole night, the rest of that night was just terrible as well. I mean, I didn't get home till roughly 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 or 2 in the morning, and I didn't even go back to my house. I went back to my parents' house because my mom and dad wanted me to come back there. They didn't want me to stay in the house by myself. So I went home, back home, and I got like an hour's sleep that night. I went to work the next day. Honest to God, didn't stay there long. I was there for about 2 hours, and I told my boss that my brother died, and they let me leave. But that was one of the worst days of my life, and I've lost all my grandparents now, as of this year. Yeah, earlier this year, I've lost all my grandparents. Lost two of my two good friends. Just too many people to count that I've lost. And I've dealt with my depression since middle school. I've always been in a very depressive state, very emotional wreck, and just constant anxiety and stress. And like I said, I'm finally seeking help now. And the start of my journey is getting my mental health fixed first. Because without my mental health being fixed, I know I'm not going to do anything else the way I need to. Because my whole journey is to lose weight. I want to lose this weight. I don't want to die fat. I don't want to die either, because I'm terrified of I'm either going to die of stress-reduced heart attack because I'm so stressed all the time, or I'm going to off myself. And be honest, that's another trigger warning. It's true. I've been down a very dark path, and 2020 and 2021 have not been good to me. It's been hell. I've reclused a lot more than what I should have. 2020 and 2021 have been a living hell. My mind has been fried with the depression, the thoughts, the couple more thoughts of suicide, and not necessarily attempts, but just severe thoughts of ready to do it. I'll be honest with you, it's not been good. There's been a few times that I've had to take my concealed carry back to my parents' house because I don't trust myself at that point in time. But I'm now on the road to getting better. I mean, I'm making this video now for myself, for the future me, and to kind of help spread awareness with it all. Of it's real, it's out there. Don't bury it. Tell somebody, find somebody you can trust, and seek help. I mean, I know it's repetitive. I know it's, the same thing everybody else does, everybody else. But if you need the help, get the help. There are tons of places out there to get help. And I was very skeptical of my own self because I didn't have any insurance for a while. And I was always worried that I wouldn't be able to find anybody that would be cheap enough for me to pay for on my own pocket, and vice versa. And I've found a good place. Just did my research, and I found some doctors that helped me, and they got me on medication now, and I've been on it for a couple months, and I've been seeing my doctors regularly now, and been seeing a therapist every other week almost. And I've had one other bad experience with another company I will not name, but I was seeing them a few years ago before COVID, and I was there for a little while, and I stopped going because, once again, I'm bad about that. And during 2020, I messaged them and called them, whatever, and said, hey, I need some help, because at that time I had insurance. And they helped for a little while, but then there's one day I was really bad off, and I reached out to them asking for an appointment with my therapist, and they said, okay, yeah, well, my therapist messaged me back and said we can do it this day. I waited all day for the email for the Zoom call and never got an email. I emailed them and never got a reply back. And that was a very low point for me, because at that point in time I felt like not even the people that I'm paying for to help me will help me. And that's a terrible feeling. So do your research, find a good company. I mean, there's tons of companies out there. There's tons of people out there that are willing to help. I mean, I'm even willing to help, do what I can in my power. I mean, I know I'm only one guy and I'm not that big on the internet, but I mean, I am more than willing to help anybody who needs help. I mean, I've been through a lot. I've done a lot of different things. I've seen a lot of crap, and I'll do the best that I can to my ability. I'm not saying it's going to work fully 100%, but even if it's just somebody to talk to tell your problems to, I'll listen. I will. But no, like I said, my whole goal and this whole point of this video is to kind of give you guys a backstory on me and tell you some of the things that I've been through. I'm not gonna go into full detail about everything because it's one, not YouTube friendly, and it's triggersome. I've personally dealt with it enough that I don't get triggered by it anymore. It doesn't bother me to talk about this stuff. I mean, I'll talk about it all day long as people want to hear it. You know, it's been a real struggle, but I mean, at the same time, it is what it is. And I'm here for anybody that needs help, but my whole journey idea is this, and I know it's going to take some years. Maybe maybe a year, maybe two. I don't even know how long it's going to take me to get back to a healthy me. My whole goal is to first fix my mental health, and it's on the rise now. I'm doing better with it. I've been doing my medication every month, every day. Been taking my medication, and it's been helping me a lot. Don't have near as many dark thoughts. I mean, I've had a recurring dream of being with my best friend that ended his life, and that is a nightmare nobody should have to have. That's been going on roughly ever since it happened, and every time I have those dreams, it screws me up. I'm back to square one, but I'm doing better now, so the dreams have decreased immensely. I'm working on getting myself better. I'm doing it. I'm not working on it, I'm doing it. Plain and simple. And this video is not going to be the only one like this. I'm going to have more like this. I want to start kind of a journey on YouTube or whatever platform I upload this to. So if you guys liked what you see here and like my story, feel free to subscribe. It's going to be a long one, and I know this, but I am in for it all. I mean, I may not post every day or every week or whatever, but I will try to post as much as possible, as much as my anxiety and depression let me. I mean, it's still not perfect. I'm still got days where I'm not good. Like the past couple of days have been kind of stressful and depressing, but I'm working on it. I'm not trying to let it drag me down back to square one. I can't. I'm done with this depression. I am tired of dealing with it. I mean, I've got a nephew now that I need to be there for. He looks up to me, and I've got two other I guess I call them niece and nephews. It's Michael's niece and nephew that he would have been a part of, but he's not now. I need to be there for them. I need to be there for them, to tell them the stories of their uncle, stuff that not everybody knows. I mean, I knew him better than most. You know, we were two peas in a pod. You know, all the random stories that we've got, you know, they live in me. They don't live in anybody else. And sorry, I keep looking at it. I'm fidgeting. I apologize, guys. I fidget when I'm nervous, and I fidget every time. But you know, his stories live on through me, and I can't let them die with me either. So it's my duty. It's my duty to pass the stories on to them and others. You know, I personally want to make it to where his story is known, you know, because he was one of those people that didn't want to get help. And honestly, knowing that now makes me want to get help more, to not necessarily prove it to him, but just to be like, you could have done it too, but you chose not to. So please, I beg of you, if you are dealing with any kind of depression, any kind of anxiety problem, or whatever, reach out to somebody. Find somebody you know and trust, or whoever. I mean, I'll leave all my links down in the description for my Instagram. I got Discord. I'll put my Discord in the link if you want to. You can join my Discord. You know, shoot me a message on there, whatever. I don't care. If someone needs help, I'll be there as much as I possibly can. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna build a message all the time, and I'll be honest with you, I know that's kind of wrong to say, but at the same time, I'm gonna do my best in dealing with my own depression as well. But you know, if someone needs help with mental health, or just somebody to listen to, I'll be there. I know what it's like to not have somebody listen to you, and it sucks. So, but no, if you guys take anything from this video, take this away from it. There's always somebody out there that cares, whether it be a complete stranger or somebody in your family or friends. You may not think it, because trust me, depression is an ugly bitch that wants you to be gone. I mean, let's just put it bluntly here. It'll put things in your head to make you think that nobody really cares. Been there, dealt with that. I'm still dealing with that. If you take anything away from this video, know that there's somebody out there that cares. There's, you know, whether it be me, complete stranger, whoever, there's gonna be somebody that cares. And two, you're not alone. I mean, to be fair, this video takes a lot for me to do, to even talk about myself remotely like this. You know, there's always help out there. There's always somebody to listen, and I cannot stress that enough. So please, whatever you take away from this video, take that away. But I'm gonna go and cut this off here, guys. Like I said, my links will be down in my description below this video, to my Discord, my Twitter, Instagram, whatever I've got, it'll be down there. My TikTok, even whatever platform you prefer, I'll have it down there. And if you want it, let me know. I'll shoot you a message if you want to talk. But anyway, I'm gonna cut this off here, guys. I rambled on long enough. Love you all, and I appreciate y'all for sticking around and watching this video. Hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.